everyone, and thanks for joining us again tonight. So I have with me Shahn Green. Now, okay, I've had Monica Halliday on a couple of weeks ago from Fight for Connor, and a lot of you would have watched that show. And what they do is their organisation is about helping, you know, young families and all that, families in need, if their children in hospital or things like that. And they've done a lot of fundraising. They've looked after so many families in our area, and Shahn's family was one of those families.
Yeah.
So let's go back to, well, first let's talk about your daughter Emily, because one of the fundraisers that they did was for Emily.
Yes.
Now let's talk about Emily and what happened with Emily. Like, she was a young 10-year-old, 11-year-old.
Yeah, so Emily was your typical 10-year-old child. She enjoyed the clarinet and netball and dancing and stuff like that. And it wasn't till one day that Emily's eyes slowly started to close. And so I noticed it, and I started talking to other people, and no one else really picked up on it. And it wasn't until the 30th of September when she awoke one day and presented like a stroke patient that we realised that there was something actually seriously going on. So we went to the optometrist, and they suspected papilledema because Emily normally wears glasses all the time. So I thought maybe it was a lazy eye. I didn't really correlate her talking out of the corner of her mouth until other people pointed that out to me. And she's the one that sent us up to hospital.
So what did they? What happened after that? You can tell us the whole story of how, because you tell a lot better than what I would. Like, I mean, I'm just, you know, I don't know how you actually remember all the names, and I just go, wow, I need a dictionary for that. Now, what was that, Shahn, that you just said? Like, I noticed on your shirt, so show us your shirt. Let's show us off the silver ribbon.
It's Grey Matters.
Grey Matters, right? So fight, Emily's fight against CCM.
Which is clear cell meningioma.
What is it?
Clear cell meningioma.
See, now, I couldn't remember that. Remember how many times I've had to ask you for that? Like, forgive me, no disrespect at all. But, like, I guess there's such an education for you being a mum and going through this too.
Well, it's been an education for everyone so far. Emily is actually 1 in 10 in the entire world to have a particular type of tumour.
Wow.
So it's a stage 2 clear cell. And she's the youngest with the largest in the world. It normally affects early teens to late adults, and there has been one other 11-year-old boy that was diagnosed at the time. But they referred to Emily's tumour as the size of a tennis ball. It went from behind her right optic nerve all the way to the back of her skull and down her brain stem. So it's been growing for some years with her. And we just didn't know until it presented itself.
So then, from then, so you've gone to the optometrist.
Yeah.
And
so
then you tell us the story of what happened, step by step, what happened after that.
Sure. So we went straight up to the John Hunter Hospital, and their ophthalmologist agreed with the papilledema and side weakness as well. So booked us in for a MRI on the 1st of October. Within that MRI, about an hour later, we got told, do you have someone to look after your 4-year-old? We need to sit down and have a meeting with you and your husband. Can you get your husband back into the hospital? And that's when we knew that whatever
Something
news
serious.
they had for us wasn't going to be good news. So they let us know that they found quite a large tumour in Emily's brain, and it was pressing on her brain stem, and we needed to remove it as fast as possible. So on the 3rd of October, we had emergency neurosurgery at 4:30 in the afternoon. It went for 5 hours, and they had to stop surgery because when they got all behind her eye to the back of the skull, but when they went to go remove the bit on her brain stem, that's when she went into cardiac arrest and had 2 strokes. So they had to pull her out and stop, and then send her up to PICU for an overnight stay.
Wow. And how long was she in hospital for?
159 days all up.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a strain that would have been on the family.
It was. I had to stop working full time. My husband stopped working on a Wednesday to give me a day off throughout the week. And he would come up on the weekends so I could go home with our 4-year-old at the time and spend some time with him as well. And then Mason thought it was contagious, so he didn't want to be anywhere around his sister because he thought he would catch a brain tumour as well.
So how old's Mason?
He's 5 now.
Yes, okay, so he's 4 at the time.
Yeah.
And like we were just saying about the beautiful t-shirt and everything, but there is another little bubba.
Oh, it's our surprise baby.
Yeah, surprise, all right.
It was while we were in hospital, it happened, and we didn't know until just before we were leaving hospital.
Wow.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's a beautiful part of life, isn't it? That, to know that you've got a little bubba in there.
Yeah.
So obviously you wouldn't want to know whether it's a boy or a girl because you just
I already got one of each. So
what a lovely surprise that you're going to have.
Definitely.
So we're going back, and we're going back in the hospital. So we've spent 159 days.
Mhm.
Can't even imagine that for dear Emily.
No.
And then along comes someone with some meals. Is that how you met the beautiful Monica Halliday?
It was around late October that I was just about to, so my husband used to come up every afternoon and straight after work, and I used to get our 4-year-old and take him home and cook dinner and then bring it back and we would have dinner as a family, and then he would take the 4-year-old home for the night. But as I was about to walk out the door, Monica walked in the door with Nando's from Katara.
Which is a restaurant for those that are not local. Yeah.
And it just lifted a weight off my shoulders. Something that I didn't have to do, didn't have to rush around, didn't have to prepare. It was just a beautiful gesture. And then from there, Monica's been a part of our family.
And what part did she play, like the organisation, Fight for Connor? So what part did they play for you?
At first, she was there, she was my someone to listen to. She's been through cancer before, she's dealt with the hospital system, she was just that shoulder to cry on if you needed to. So she was always there for us. It came to November or December, and we had a contractor come out to the house from NDIS just to roughly have a look around to see if they agreed with the OT's assessment of what house mods that we needed. And Monica asked, how did your meeting go? And we said, it was great, but he's actually let us know he doesn't have availabilities till like July, June to even look at our house to then start preparing of what mods needs doing. And so that would mean 4 months in hospital for no medical reason, and then however long it was going to take them to get it done, also in hospital for no medical reason. So Monica's like, no, Beyond Bank's with us as well. We've had a discussion, we've sat down, we've talked to everybody that we're in contact with, and we think that we can get Emily home on time. So instead of still probably being in hospital now, we brought Emily home in March, which was fantastic.
So Emily's thing was that she wanted to come home.
That was Emily's only goal.
That was her wish?
Yeah.
She wanted to come home.
Yeah.
And it was Christmas? Was it for Christmas or something?
Yeah,
that was
Christmas,
the big thing. So in order for Emily to come home, there had to be modifications done to the house.
Major. So we got the house in April. We renovated it and moved in August. September we ended up in the hospital, and then we found out we had to renovate the house again. And so it just physically wasn't possible with me not working and needing all.
Because you've given up your job to look after the situation.
Yeah. So we needed things like a whole bathroom gutted and redone. We needed all our doorways widened and extended. We needed new carports, new concrete, new everything really at the end of the day. And Monica just took it on her stride and found beautiful, beautiful people that were able to help us out, that were willing, that worked full time but were willing to come in on the weekend to do their bit for us, to be able, all for Emily really, to get her home.
So then from there,
Mm-hmm.
So there was also another part played by a radio station.
Yes.
So explain all that to us. How did that all come about?
So I didn't know anything about it. Apparently 106.9 contacted the hospital and said we've got a budget for a fundraiser for this year. Do you have a family in mind that needs some help? And at this stage we were already asking for a cover letter to do some fundraising to try and get money for a car for Emily, because I had a little I-30 and that does not fit a wheelchair.
No.
No, so we needed something as big as a Kia Carnival. So the gentleman at the hospital suggested our family, and 106.9 Danielle got in contact with me and said that, can you come into the office? Nick, Jess and Simon have something that they would like to let you know about. So when we went in, they let us know that Simon was going to walk 50 k's from Williamtown to Wallsend, and on the 29th of March. And they ended up raising over $60,000 for us.
Wow, so that bought the car.
Bought the car.
That is fantastic, isn't
We
it?
put money aside. As Emily is 1 in 10, she did radiation to prevent the last 10% that's on her brain stem to hopefully stop it from growing. At this stage, it doesn't look like it's stopped growing. It has slowly increased in volume. And we've exhausted all Australian treatment. So our next option would be actually outside of Australia for a lung cancer treatment that can help for brain tumours. But as she's 1 in 10, we're not sure if that would even work for us. So we save some aside in case we need to do that in the near future.
Where would that be, in America?
Yeah, they mentioned it to us when we were in PICU, like where it was and all the details to it. And when we're in PICU was a whole bucket load of information all at once. So it was very hard to try and obtain everything. I could tell you all different types of your brain, but I can't tell you where everything else is.
Where the treatment was.
Yeah.
Well, it is. It's good that we can have a bit of a giggle too, because
Yes.
it's a really sad time, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's such a big strain on family members, like your husband
Yes.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like you both, not only are you sitting back and watching a beautiful child, suffer, and, I guess do you feel, pretty helpless in that situation?
You certainly do. Like, she used to look out the window and point and just go home, I want to go home, and you would break inside. And there's little moments like that, or you would get involved in all the other families that had to stay in hospital. And there was another little girl that Monica helped out as well, named Peter. And it was just heartbreaking knowing that she was going home because they'd exhausted all treatment for her. And she was like, there's just moments like that. There's a little girl named Adelaide that she's actually made it outside of Australia to do a different type of radiation that Australia couldn't offer. And you don't realise these types of things until you're actually in the position of how much it affects other people around you.
And because it was such a sudden thing for you too.
Yes.
It wasn't something that built up. Not that it's any easier when it builds up, but it was like you had this beautiful, healthy, gorgeous child that was active and sporty and doing all these wonderful, normal things, and then suddenly it's all come down. And you were saying before that had you not had the house refurbished to accommodate a wheelchair, etc., that you would have had to stayed in the hospital.
Yeah, and there's people out there that still are in the hospital waiting for NDIS to come on board. The man said he was the only one in Newcastle area that do these major mods that we needed doing. So it was people that were already in line that we just had to go to the back of the line and wait our turn, which in hindsight, it's not fair on the hospital system. They've got 1,000 people that are in beds for no reason because they're just waiting for equipment, waiting for house mods, just waiting.
Because they can't send them home.
Can't send them home until it's done.
And that strain on you as a family too
Definitely.
would be hard because, if you're in your own home, you can work together like with your other little baby, like your little boy, Mason. You can work you know, with your husband as well. Like he can be coming and going to work.
Yes.
So just that strain of the family unit must have been incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. And I mean, if there was someone, like just say there's someone out there right now and they're watching this show and their child is sick. I mean, it might be a grandchild. I mean, God forbid, you know, the thought of any of my grandchildren or children being ill like that, like, I just don't know what I would do. But, you know, like, there would be someone out there tonight watching this show that's going through a similar situation.
Yeah.
Or know of someone that is. What would, like a message of hope that you would give them? What would be something you would say to them to help them or the families?
You don't realise how strong you can be until being strong is all you've got left. There is always a light at the end of the tunnel, as far as sometimes not always seeing that light at the end of the tunnel. Each day is a new day and you've got to take it one step at a time. Always talk to your social worker and your counsellor within the hospital. They were our life saviours. Yeah, there's just always hope. You've always got to hold on to hope. We got told in PICU that this is probably the state that Emily's going to be in, but now she's talking and able to pivot and move and is doing hydro, and like we got told that she probably wasn't going to be anywhere recovered as what she is now. So hold on to hope. There's always hope.
Yeah, well, if they've told you that and then now she's at that stage that you say that she's made the progress.
Yeah.
What does Emily's day, hang on, what is your day? Okay, you get up you tell us what your day consists of.
My day is a lot easier now that I'm not in hospital. In hospital, it was back-to-back appointments, here, there and everywhere. Emily did radiation for 34 treatments, so it was waking up, getting her ready, taking her to taking her to physiotherapy, trying to get her to the schoolroom, getting her over to the MATA to do radiation, getting her back for all her appointments, trying to get her back into the schoolroom for just some sort of education. Where now I wake up, get her ready, take her to school. I can clean my house. I can.
You can clean your house. I love that. But not like sit down, watch TV and have
coffee.
I
did that today. And then it's just when I pick her up again, she's got an appointment every afternoon. So she's either got, like today was hydro, Mondays is physio, Fridays is OT. So every day she's got something going on. And then I cook dinner. I've got a carer now, which is really helpful.
Oh,
it
wow.
took me a while to finally get a carer, but I've got a carer that comes in the afternoon until my husband comes home. So they play with Emily or take her. She does an art class on a Thursday down in the main street, so they take her down to that for me, and that way I get to have some one-on-one time with my son. And I just take him to a park or a skate park or something. And then I cook dinner. Brad comes home. We say goodbye to the carer. One of us baths them while the other one's getting ready, or showers them because we don't have a bath anymore. And then, put them to bed.
And how's your house now? Like what
it is?
What did they do
amazing.
to it? Like how good does
gosh.
it feel to be in it?
It is so good. They did Emily's room. Emily's unicorn obsessed.
Yeah.
So she used to take this big bag to radiation every day, and the radiographer had to name each an individual unicorn and had to remember. So they've implemented that into her room. She's got all the unicorns everywhere. She's got a unicorn bedspread. When Monica came over to the house to do the first assessment, or just to have a look around really, Mason was like, and you need to do this for Sissy, and you need to do that, and you need to do this for Emily, and she just loved it. She was like, we're going to do your room too. She said to him, if you could paint your room, what colour would you paint it? He's like, red. I really want a red room. And I stopped him from having a red room when we first renovated the house, so Monica just painted one wall for me. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. but made it all Avengers, superheroes for him.
Oh, wow.
We, Emily couldn't access our laundry or our back toilet because our hot water system hung out 5 centimetres too far. So they redone my whole laundry for me. My lounge was an L-shaped, low-lined, no-support lounge. So they got Emily like a recliner lounge that she can sit on and be well supported in. Built a deck to the back of my house so she can access the backyard. Put a carport up in the front of my house.
Is that easy access to the car?
Well, it's for like weather protection. So because it can take about 10 minutes to get a wheelchair in and out of a car. So that's 10 minutes in the rain.
And that's some things that you don't think about. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think about that. And now it's so logical that, because it does take a little while to get them all settled and into the car. And if it's pouring down with rain, there'd be nothing worse, would there?
Yeah.
Trying to do a wheelchair and umbrella at the same time, I couldn't even imagine that.
Oh, I tried. It's not very easy. Sometimes I have to pick her up from school and walk her, and in the rain, and it's not easy. You're either holding it for her and getting drenched, or you try to plonk it behind her so she can. Doesn't work.
So what's a beautiful memory that you have with your gorgeous daughter? What's something beautiful that you have?
The day that she spoke for the first time. So they say after 60 days after a stroke, if you haven't regained it, you're not going to regain it. And I think it was day 72 that she started speaking. So I was making Christmas decorations. I was crocheting Christmas decorations. And I said to Emily, "Oh, do you like my Christmas tree?" And she went, "Boo." And I was like, "What? What did you say?" And then the next morning I got woken up to Mum, and I was like, "Oh, that's that voice." And then slowly, like, her cheekiness would come out. Like, she would always lay on her back, and I was so worried about pressure area injury. So I would always roll her over and prop her up with pillows and stuff, and she would wiggle her way back onto her back. You'd be like, "Hey, get off your back," and she would just giggle at you. And it's just the little cheekiness of, like, her personality slowly started coming back to us around the time that she started talking, which once we got to that 60 days, I kind of thought, "Oh, it's not going to happen. No, hold on, hope. Like, it might," and then it did. So, yes, hold on to hope. It does work out.
Yeah, and like you said, you thought that perhaps that she wouldn't be talking and she wouldn't be doing all the things that she's doing now. So what is she doing now?
So everyone can understand her now. She was
Fabulous.
using like an iPad for a while that you could touch like chips and "I want," and it would speak a sentence for you. But now with speech, she's worked really hard on, and you can actually, she's very soft spoken, but everyone can understand her now. She can pivot. So she's able, even though she's paralysed on the left-hand side, she's able to bear the weight on the legs. So she can stand up out of a wheelchair, take a few steps to turn herself around and sit down on a couch or something, which is something that we were told that was probably not going to be able to happen. What else can she do? She made her own sandwich the other day with one hand.
How cool is that? What was that sandwich?
Peanut butter or Nutella, and she tells me I want hoops of Nutella.
Oops.
So one of
Bless her.
Emily's strokes was on her thalamus and her brainstem, and just above your brainstem there's the part that indicates that you're full, and we think that, or the doctors think that that's been inhibited on her, so she doesn't actually understand when she's full, so she'll just eat heaps of everything if you let her. So now we do like mini cucumbers and strawberries, and you always tell her healthy choices, Emily.
Yeah.
She'll eat chocolate and Oreos till the cows come home.
Well, we all will.
I know.
I know how hard it is to say no.
Yes.
So, I know that you've probably done this before, but I'm thinking, this will be shared around the world, this show.
Yeah.
And if there was something that you wanted to say to, like, Monica, to Fight for Connor, for the radio station that, raise the money for the car, for the hospitals, what would be thank you, and what would you say?
I don't think thank you's enough. And I don't think there are words that can express the gratitude that our family have for all of these organisations. And it's not just one person. Like Fight for Connor Fight for Connor's got like 9 members in their team. And then they've got like all their friend contractors and labourers, and the hospital wasn't just one person. Like there was a lovely lady, Ronnie, which was her life psychologist, that got us through radiation. Otherwise we had to go to Sydney for it. But then there was physio and OT and the rehab brain injury team and the neuro team, and like there's just so many people out there that has helped Emily get to the stage that she's at now, that we don't even know how to thank these people. Like you just don't think, oh, thank you so much for helping us out, is enough.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know, and it's like you've got to look at where you were and where you are now, and the beauty of it and where you are now, and how easy it is, and the fact that you're home as a family. That's the biggest bit, isn't it?
Amazing. It's so good.
Like what a difference that's made to being in the hospital. Because I mean, even like your little Mason, was he in preschool at that time?
He was in preschool, yeah.
So at least he was in preschool and he's having a bit of fun through the day, but while you guys are trying to hold the fort and keep it all together.
Yes.
And you know, and Emily, like she must be just so happy, and hence why she's striving.
Yeah.
Because she is at home. That's all she ever wanted. Like, she could have asked for anything, couldn't she?
Yeah.
Because that's what it was all about. Like, tell us what you want. And she just chose to come home.
Yeah, that was the one thing. That was all she wanted.
Yeah, like she could have gone to Disneyland.
She still wants to go to Disneyland.
I think everybody wants to go to Disneyland. Does she?
Yeah.
But, you know, like, she's home and everything's been adjusted to suit her lifestyle and to help her, and you know, the ease of it all too, like to help you guys as a family, for her to be able to be at home and to feel free, and you know, that, because it must be hard just being, you know, in a wheelchair, even getting from to go to the bathroom even.
Yeah.
You know, like
Emily's actually made an amazing goal. So last week she's actually been taking herself to, so she's always done her own personal self-care in the bathroom, but she's always needed a piece of equipment to get her there. And I was busy hanging out clothes one day, and when I walked in I heard the toilet flush, and I was like, I'm pretty sure Emily's the only one home with me. What's going on? So I walked into the bathroom and she's like, guess what I done? Took myself to the toilet. So she like wheeled herself in there, got up, pivoted around, sat herself down, did what she needed to do, and got back into the wheelchair. And I was like, this is amazing.
See, they're just those little things that we take for granted every single day of our days.
Try dressing yourself with one hand, especially your t-shirts. It's incredibly hard.
Yeah.
She can do her pants and stuff, like if you just give her a pair of jammies, she'll put them on, but trying to put a t-shirt on, and she's getting there, she'll get there one day.
I mean, that's something like, you're all at home now, just go and get a t-shirt and try and put it on with one hand and just see how difficult that is.
Yeah.
And then, you know, add all the stuff that darling little Emily's been through, as well as, you know, what a champion, what a warrior she is. So, you know, like, we all take our hats off to Emily, and I know that she'll probably see this interview.
Oh, probably.
So,
she sees them all.
well, Emily, you little darling, you little warrior, like, what an amazing young woman you are. I tell you, I can't wait to see you the day that you're doing everything and you want to show off. I'm coming over, I'm going to watch you do everything, all right? I'm going to follow you all day and just see what a wonderful, wonderful young woman you are, and how strong and believing in yourself. I mean, wow, we just take everything for granted, don't we? You know, so blessed are you to have such a beautiful young woman as your daughter.
Yes.
And blessed are you for having such a beautiful family and a great husband. And for you being such a wonderful mum and mum-to-be. Like, wow. And I'm sure Emily will want to help with the baby. Like, I'm sure that'll be her driving force too, won't it? To conquer new limits. But so each and every week, like I said, like, thank you, you beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful supporters out there, because you are what keep me going. And for me to want to continue these wonderful shows, and I know that they're doing something for someone out there because of all the wonderful messages that I continually get. You know, it's just amazing some of the comments that I've had, and you know, the beautiful messages that I'm getting. And thank you, everyone. And if you know of anyone out there that wants to tell their story, please get in touch with me. But I just want to say thank you to the beautiful people that watched. And obviously I can't mention everyone. So I'll mention the ones that we've got my little producer over there that she's written down a few. And I've noticed one there that is just like, wow. Do you want to say that one? Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Yes.
But I know who it is. And I'm just going to spell it for you because this is beautiful Mary. And I know you're watching Mary. And it's Marika, M-A-R-I-C-A, Anna, A-N-A. Batovic, yeah, B-A-T-K-O-V-I-C. Come on. Majdanvic, M-A-J-D-A-N-D-Z-I-C. But, you know, also known as Mary. Okay, so hi Mary, thanks for joining us tonight. My purple popcorn sister, and that's a long story. We'll get that one out one day. So Margaret Moffat, thank you so much. Sharon Sharp, every single week you're there, Sharon. That's why we love saying your name. Natalie Hewitt, thank you, Natalie. Natalie's been on the show as well as her son to tell her story of losing her son. And Missy D, hey Michelle, how you doing? And of course, dear old Mary. I don't mean dear old Mary, I mean dear beautiful Mary. We've got Chris Rourke, Annie O'Day. Hey Annie O'Day. Tanya Roney, Emma Louise Mason, Lyndall Dixon. Hi Lyndall. Karen Humphreys, thanks for watching Karen. Monica Halliday. Oh, so Monica's been watching it all night, has she? Oh, bless. Thank you, Monica. Steph Patterson, thank you. Now, Steph's our normal producer, but she's gone on a little family thing tonight. So thank you, Steph, you beautiful girl. I thought you would have just had at least a night off. Gemma Baker, oh, my beautiful niece. Hi, Gemma. Lauren S. Frank Day, thank you, Uncle Frank. Helen Buchanan. Georgia, thank you, Georgia. Hey, I hope you're home from Greece. And Kylie Haylock. And one more, who have we got there? We have Brad Green.
That's my husband.
Oh, Brad. Hey, what a wonderful man. Mason says hi. Oh, hey, Mason.
Emily.
Hi,
And
Em.
so does, hi, Emily. How are you, beautiful girl? So, you know, it's just such a wonderful platform to be able to share these great, great stories. So hopefully you'll join me next week. Always Wednesday night, 7:30 on the Couch with Kelly. If you want to share this, just share the heck out of it. I love the fact that people do that. But you can also have a look at the shows after they're been recorded. You can go to On the Couch with Kelly on Facebook and have a look at all the shows that we've done thus so far. You can go to YouTube On the Couch with Kelly and watch the whole shows. You can go to my website, which is www.onthecouchwithkelly.com, and therefore you can see all the shows again. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for coming along.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure there'll be pictures and stuff that you can put up on this in the comments section.
Sure can.
I'd love to see that one today of Emily.
For Book Week?
Yeah, for Book Week. I really want to see that on the comments.
All
so
right.
if we can share that later. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and I look forward to seeing all your names rolling up on the screen next week. Okay, and it's goodbye from me, and know that no matter what in life, you're going to be okay. Thanks, everyone.